Oh boy, looks like we hit the big leagues tonight. Because I have something for you guys. I've been trying all sorts of new things. Well, I will be. Of course, there's gonna be top 10 lists, and like top other number lists, and all that stuff in between. However, I want to do like reviews of like movies and shows and all that shit, like inspired by like stuff like the Nostalgia Critic and like all the other Channel Awesome crew. And even Siskel and Ebert. I feel like a disgrace just messing up that man's name. Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert. There I go again. Damn it. Anyways, the movie I have for you guys here today. To sum it up shortly, as a fan of Tom and Jerry myself, not the most avid of fans, but I do indeed consider myself a fan of Tom and Jerry. I don't think this movie is bad. I don't think it's the best thing since freaking Wonder Bread, but it's definitely better than the original Tom and Jerry movie. I will give you that. The original damn animated thing, even though it was purely animated, another thing it was? Purely suck-ass. That's what it was. At least with this, I feel like I'm watching a movie. And not just that, a movie that tries, instead of the original Tom and Jerry movie, where it felt like every second that went by was a total freaking just roundabout a suck-ass. It's almost like watching Titanic, only every second that goes by, it's like that scene with the ice cream guy, like, sneaking up on the ice cream truck, like, what is he gonna do to the damn thing? Like, so many damn questions, and then there's that freaking scene, like, we've got to have money. Like WTF? What were the people making this movie thinking? Not this movie, the movie I'm reviewing. The movie, the original Tom and Jerry movie. The animated one, the fully animated one. With Indiana Jones fathers and freaking little girls and evil, I don't even know people, like ice cream truck villains, like WTF, like paranoia coming to get me. I can't even sing a song right because this damn frickin' movie. What the hell? What can you even say to half the shit in that damn movie? And that shit that they pull at the end, with it like having a circle around them, running after each other, like Tom running after Jerry, and it's like, yeah, this is what you just saw. This Tom and Jerry movie doesn't even try to pull that. No, it lets you know straight away what you're in for. With the frickin' rapping birds, which Tom and Jerry, the Nostalgia Critic, Doug Walker himself, has said it. They were always kind of in on the music that was popular at the time. So, it's not really all that bad. And, like, whenever I went into theaters seeing this movie for the first time, and only time, Like, as of right now, I still haven't, like, seen a second, like, screening of it. And I don't think I ever will actually go to the effort of seeing a second screening of this movie. Not saying it's bad, I'm just saying that's not something that I'll probably ever do. First of all, I would have to have someone to take me to that movie. And second of all, movies can be expensive, so plus like the popcorn, the drink, the candy, yeah, that shit, just no. It would probably be easier to buy the damn thing and just like get another watch out of it that way. Because then you can at least like buy popcorn, buy candy, buy soda from like the store that will probably cost less than the shit that you would buy at the movie theater. Regardless of what movie theater you go to, will probably cost less like getting the stuff that's not from the movie theater. At least from my experiences, like at least from my movie going experiences, what I know of all of that. So yeah, now getting back to talking about the actual movie I'm trying to review here. Tom and Jerry 2021 is basically what I will be referring it as, because there are two Tom and Jerry movies now. The original, which is a piece of horse shit, and this one, the 2021 version, which is so much better than what we got way back when. I'm not even sure I was alive whenever we got the first ever Tom and Jerry movie. What I do know, it was a piece of horse shit. And that it really just should not have ever existed. Or at least, if it's going to exist, don't attach the names Tom and Jerry in the same sentence in that order to the name of your movie. If you're going to make it like that, don't attach their names in that order in the same sentence as the name of your movie. Don't disgrace these lovable characters by doing that. Because literally, that is the only thing. Like, at least it didn't pull what the original movie did and do that to these characters. Disgrace them by having their names attached to this godforsakenly awful movie. The original was a godforsakenly awful piece of shit that never should have existed. God awful. Just no. However, like, there is some good stuff in the original, but it's like good, like ironically bad, so it makes it good because it's ironically bad. Like, it's ironically good. It's so bad that it's ironically good. Like, there are those moments in that movie. Like the "we've got to have money" meme. And, well, like I said, the ice cream cart guy, he he's so scary he can actually at times be funny. Like that scene where he's creeping up on the ice cream cart, like, God, what the hell were you guys smoking? And the Indiana Jones father, I'm just waiting for the music to kick in. Friggin' John Williams shit. Did he do did he do the music for the Indiana Jones films? John Williams? Because I know that Indiana Jones was like a Spielberg production, so I'm pretty sure that it was John Williams, because I'm pretty sure that John Williams does the music for most of Spielberg's productions, his movies. And so I'm pretty sure that Mr. Indiana Jones' father, every time he's on screen, there should be the Indiana Jones theme blaring in the background. So, like, the Indiana Jones father, the freaking ice cream cart dude, the freaking we've got to have money, me man. Just random acts of random craziness that make it to where it's the kind of movie where it's so bad it's ironically hilarious. How bad it is. But it's still a shit stain on the clean record with just Tom and Jerry. In which the only dirty spots that I can think of, off the bat, are the freaking racism. Racism is the only automatic thing that comes to mind whenever dirty spots on the clean record of Tom and Jerry. The only thing, literally that's the only thing, is racism. But then again, America was very different back in those times. America was very different. But now to actually get to reviewing the damn movie I'm trying to review, instead of talking about that damn shit stain of a freaking... Yeah, that's me vomiting out the freaking original and then trying to come up with something of the 2021 so that I'm not as angry and depressed. That's what the movie makes me feel anytime I'm not laughing. I'm angry and depressed. That's what that movie makes me go through. Anytime I'm not laughing at how bad it is making me feel awkward and depressed. And very large amounts of it, too. So, basically, on the subject of the 2021, just so that people won't kill me in the comments section, on the subject of the 2021 version, well, I will indeed say the plot, or several plots going on, because, really, as I was watching that movie, there were several things going through my head that I did not want to voice out loud. Probably because, just out of the kindness of my heart. You're welcome, people who attended that theater. While at the same time I was watching, countless other attendants at the theater. You're welcome. So, yeah, just out of the kindness of my heart, I kept all of my emotions in check. Or I at least tried to. Because I'm pretty sure you guys would have noticed if I went crazy. Pull the Tom and Jerry on the Tom and Jerry movie. Because there are just, several moments in, the godforsaken bajillion B plots that this, B and C and D plots that this movie has. Where I'm just what? Are you sure this is still Tom and Jerry? I think maybe if it's you pulled a Tom and Jerry meets Wizard of Oz, or Tom and Jerry meets Willy Wonka, where basically it was Tom and Jerry meets freaking The Odd Couple or whatever. Legit. Sometimes it just felt like Tom and Jerry meets freaking... Jesus Christ, people are gonna anyone and every one single person in the world is going to kill me whenever I say this, but I'll say it anyways. Like Tom and Jerry meets Big Bang Theory, even though I really don't see the hate for the show. I really don't see it. I just really don't. Well, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. Like, I kind of do, but I really don't. It's just one of those things where I have a lot more, like, I'm actually able to stand this than I am, this is a total piece of horse shit with Big Bang Theory. A lot of these side plots in this movie seem to be like Tom and Jerry meets like freaking like I don't even freaking know, like what's the show that was like, filled with like the Cosbys? Family Matters with Steve Urkel. It's like Tom and Jerry meets Family Matters. I don't even know, like, there's like several different like plot lines trying to battle each other for supremacy. It's like several different B, C, and D plot lines trying to battle each other out for supremacy, and the A plot line, is just like in that one Goofy cartoon where all of the hockey players just watch the people that are supposed to be watching them like kick the shit out of each other. So yeah, basically all these B, C, and D plot lines just battling for supremacy, at least trying to, and the A plot line is just meandering about, trying to find wherever it's supposed to be placed, because God knows that this movie isn't going to place it in the right placement. Because the A plot line is obviously the A plotline is obviously, the fact that Tom and Jerry are about in the midst of, like, freaking New York City, I think. Freaking New York? Yeah, I think New York. And all the B, C, and D plot lines are, like, the stuff to do with the girl trying to make it big in New York, the freaking wedding that's being planned, and, like the B plot line is the girl trying to make it big, and the C plot line is the marriage. The D plot line is whatever the hell else is going on. Because God help you trying to actually solve this damn movie. Like, I know I was giving it a lot of praise, but I was giving it a lot of praise against a movie that is so shit. I don't know. I don't even care how many plot lines that original movie had. Nothing could save it. So I was giving, like, the 2021 version a lot of praise against something that was dead even before it had time to arrive. Just because of everything that had to do with it. Like, almost nearly everything that had to do with the damn original movie was dead before it could even, like, have a chance to arrive. So, basically praising it against something that dead already, yeah, now you can see where things start to fall apart. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of the characters I really, 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 really like. Like, the main female lead, she's great. I honestly don't really get the fact that people are just so pissed about, like, the freaking, human characters. I don't get why people get so antsy about the human characters' performances. Now, I know this is a Tom and Jerry movie, and so the focus should be on them, but, I mean, The moment they decide to make this more than just Tom and Jerry related is the moment where there needed to be more focus on other characters. Because if you're going to make this more than just Tom and Jerry, whatever else that you're going to make it more of, there's going to have to put focus on that too. Doesn't matter if it's a lot of focus or if it's a little focus, just put some focus and at least try. And then you'll be considered at least a tolerable movie. As long as, like, the bajillion freaking plot lines that you're throwing at the wall trying to see which ones stick, which obviously very few stuck, and they just decided to, grab those and put them somewhere in the midst of the script and tell, as the actors were in the acting booth and they were like, well, how am I supposed to say this line? Like, I know what the line is, but how am I supposed to say it? And they just said, well, just act. That's literally what I think was going on, is freaking, basically, it's just like, the person who just, the director was just like, the acting coach was just like, just act. Just act how you think this type of person would act in this situation. Literally nothing more than just the bare minimal basics of acting. So, yeah, and maybe just a little bit more than that, but, just to give them some sort of scenery to chew on. And sometimes I think even the scenery is trying to chew on them. Like, I think I've heard of the scenery chewing out the act. Wasn't it the thing in the Nostalgia Critics, review of the Scooby-Doo movie? Heard of actors chewing out the scenery, but not the scenery chewing out the actors. This feels a lot more like the movie is trying to say that the scenery is definitely going to chew out the actors. Because there is so little actor and so much scenery, especially in the scenes that have to deal with the wedding. Like, whenever it actually gets to the wedding, good God, the scenery might as well have already eaten the actors and replaced them with, freaking, I don't even freaking know I don't even freaking know anymore. Like, some freaky deaky shit. Just the scenery might as well have just not only be eating the actors, but have already ate them and just decided to puke replicas out that are the actor but in reverse. But then as soon as this mishmash gained sentience, it realized it had to be the actor but forward instead of in reverse. And so it forwarded itself on purpose, so it's constantly fighting with its own self. So it's basically the actors are being chewed out while they're trying to be fighting whatever's chewing them out. So it's almost like nothing has a chance to chew anything out, but also at the same time, that basically makes it to where everyone feels dejected from the freaking scene. I guess what I'm trying to say here is the big scenes, the elephants, and the bajillion people, and everything, all the freaking scenery everywhere, how big this scene is supposed to be, with what looks like probably one of the biggest wide angle lens, freaking, if you were looking for a movie with several scenes that just seem to scream to you wide angle lens shot pandering, this is your movie. Wide angle lens shot pandering, it's like, as soon as it gets to the scene of the actual marriage, you will know what the frick I'm talking about. Wide angle lens shot pandering all over the damn place whenever it comes to the actual marriage scene. And God so help you if you're able to get past whenever Jerry, oh God, whenever Jerry starts making the elements, not the elements, freaking Avatar. Whenever Jerry starts making the elephants run amok. Whenever he starts pulling a Jumanji on our ass. And not the bad Jumanji, the good Jumanji. And by the good Jumanji, I mean the one with Robin freaking Williams. Bless that man's soul. Basically, the scene whenever Jerry freaking makes the elephants run amok. God bless your soul trying to keep track of everything. Because it's almost like Ghost Rider 2. Like, almost, all of a sudden, above everything else, like, the immense amount of wide angle, like, freaking shot pandering that they're doing. Above that, we also have Ghost Rider 2 on a silver platter, like the effects from Ghost Rider 2. Like, all of the effects. But in what order? Like, you can just, like, spread them out like salt. And just, like, put them all over the damn scene. Like, you already have enough chaos, just spread more. And I'm usually all for, like, multiple amounts of, like, a multitude, like, amount of chaos. I'm usually all for that shit. But this is kinda much. And whenever it actually comes to, like, the big whole thing with, like, the not as big party that's, like, outdoors, but it does still symbolize that they have their love for each other, the human characters. I'm all for that. I'm all for that schmaltzy kind of ending. Because finally, I think that ending gave me a breather from the crazy batshit insanity, which was not only what I just described to you, but after that, they have like a Blues Brothers style car chase. Like Blues Brothers, like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's a mad, 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 mad world type, like style type, freaking car chase scene thing. Like pulling on like Terminator 2 bullshit. Like they got all the freaking car chase, like shit. All I need is like to amp it up with like all sorts of like things revolving around the car chase scene in the trailer, and they'll be golden. Unlike just like how can you pander more to a scene on how important it's supposed to be whenever everything and everyone is constantly flying back and forth, left and right, and you know legit like Tom and Jerry are doing God knows what, and they're back to doing what they were doing in like the original Tom and Jerry movie, only they still don't talk, thank God. At least they didn't break that rule. However, they did break one rule, and that rule is they become friends. However, the third rule that the Nostalgia Critic has actually just made is no Tom and Jerry character should say break yourself. And a character in this movie that is a Tom and Jerry character says break yourself. Like whenever they're fleeing. And that's like a lot earlier on in the movie, like a lot before the car chase. And just Jesus. This is like freaking. And they even do a thing where like they lock up Tom and Jerry. Like what the actual shit? Like, what is this movie going for? Like, they have, like, all of these different plot points, and, like, the whole lock 'em up thing, like, where they have them locked up, almost becomes, like, a freaking ABCD, like, a freaking E plot point, like, plot point E. Like, I now present to you plot point E. They're locked up now, so they have to find a way out. I mean, literally, I didn't know that the Tom and Jerry movie could become The Escapists. Like, legit. What the hell? WTF were you guys smoking whenever you were thinking of the several plot points that you actually wanted to add into your finished product? Not just the shit that you were throwing at the wall while you were stoned off your damn ass, but, like, asses, but, just the shit that you managed to keep stuck. Not the freaking shit that you threw to the wall to see if it stuck, but the stuff that stuck and that you kept on. Like, what was your thought process, or rather, lack of? Because it really seems like there's only a thought process whenever they basically basically not really lack of thought process, but thought process in general. Because I don't want to say lack of thought process, because considering what actually goes on in this movie, there had to be some thought process. And the some thought process that is actually in this movie, which I can tell from all of the different freaking scenes and putting them together, I can tell that whatever thought process was going into this was one of freaking geniuses. And you guys might be wondering, like, what, you just spent, like, however long bashing the movie and you're saying that it was one of geniuses? Well, all my ladies and fellas, like, fellas and lady fellas, all my ladies and lady fellas, whatever you are out there. The reason why I say that is, it's kind of like Spider-Man 3's emo Peter dance scene, where he's just that the emo Peter dance. The only thing that I think the only reason why it hasn't become a meme is because we have, I think it's either David Skarsgård or Michael Skarsgård, whatever his name is. I just know his last name is Skarsgård, because who can forget that last name? Like, if someone has a last name Skarsgård, you're gonna remember. Like, it's almost like there's a law preventing your mind from putting it one ear and out the other. That freaking last name. Anyways, if it wasn't for freaking Pennywise and doing that dance, and I forget if it was part 1 or part 2, I'm pretty sure it was part 1. If it wasn't for him and doing that damn dance, I'm sure Emo Peter would be the meme. The Emo Peter dance would be the meme of all memes about dancing. However, we have Mr. Skarsgård as Pennywise in part 1 of the new It. I'm not really sure how new you can really call the movie. Plus, to be honest with all you guys, I still am in firm belief that the original is better. So, yeah, you guys can take that with a grain of salt if you feel like it. However many grains you need, I'm all for it. So So, yeah. What was I talking about again? Oh, yeah, why this is geniuses instead of stupid people. Like, that are on massive amounts of drugs. Oh, don't worry, guys. I'm sure there was a lot of drugs involved. But that doesn't exactly mean that they had to be stupid people. I'm just sure that there were still a lot of drugs involved, but doesn't exactly mean that the people that were, making this were idiots. No, unlike some other people that use drugs whenever doing their products, making their products, these guys, I don't know what they did, but I'm pretty sure that whatever it was, it involved doing drugs while you're making your product in the smart way. Because something had to have happened. I'm pretty sure it was a mix of three different things, if not four. Like, if the minimum has to be at least three things. Like, freaking, weed I know for sure, and well, let's all face it, LSD, that acid shit. And if I were to think of a third drug, well, I guess if you could, like, make a cocktail of both medicinal and non-medicinal marijuana, and also add acid into the mix, like, good old LSD, that's probably the cocktail they were, getting the whole good out of. Non-medicinal, just so that they can still retain the knowledge in order to, process, put out the correct product. None of that, like cutting room floor bullshit. Like, they had to put out the correct product, what they actually wanted to put out. So, they would need the medicinal marijuana in order to keep their noggins still a little bit on straight. Like, there would still be the effects of the cannabis, but there would be more structure if you add in the medicinal as well. Like regular cannabis and like medicinal cannabis. If you add that medicinal in there, it keeps it going, but it keeps it structured as well. And good old acid, good old LSD, just to make sure whatever you put out, it's gonna entertain the kiddies. Because, that's kind of our target demographic. Like, we may want to seem adult at times, but, I mean, come on, guys. Originally, people thought that cartoons, cartoons were just to entertain everybody, but soon, people began to think that cartoons were just kids' stuff. And now, we don't know what we think. So, LSD/acid is perfect for that. Considering we as a society don't know what the hell we want or think, neither do we know what we want or what we want, like, freaking think. We don't know either what we want or what we think. So, LSD/acid is perfect for that. Put that in there along with like the regular and the medicinal. Marijuana, Mary Jane, and you got the perfect cocktail for the perfect, just balls off the walls, crazy ass movie. Now I don't know what the hell they must have been processing in order to make the original Tom and Jerry movie, but it was sure as hell not as tame of a cocktail. In that movie, they must have been like lobotomized afterwards in order so that they could enter the mindscape of the people responsible for that movie, and so like figure out how to use the freaking eyeballs for like truth serums, like comic book style, like legit freaking absolute insanity, like Requiem of a Dream bullshit, like that insane. Yeah, that's basically my 2 cents on the difference in between the original Tom and Jerry movie and the 2021 movie. You know, the actual, you know, original very bad one, and this new, because, you know, it's in the same year as we are in now, so I can indeed call it new if I want. Plus, this is my channel and my video, so I'm going to still call it new. Anyways, whatever. The new the Tom and Jerry 2021, in which I think, you know, if we were to compare the two to like make an analogy for like a comparison between the two, the original is the Black Plague, and this movie is whenever Moses freed the Jews. I mean, it was literally the liberation of an entire enslaved people was what Moses did. He liberated all those mofos. Sorry to any Jews who just got offended by that, but whatever. And, well, the Black Plague killed however many it killed before they were actually able to come up with some sort of cure or some sort of reasoning to, like, get this shit to stop. It was literally like an act of all-out war against the livelihoods of, like, a good sum of the amount of, like, populace of Europe. A good sum of Europe was, like, being taken by storm by this disease, simply known as the Black Plague, or the bubonic plague. So, basically, in me comparing, like, the original, basically calling it the Black Plague, basically, that's what I basically feel like. The original, you know, with the got to have money guy meme, the ice cream cart weirdo, and the freaking Indiana Jones father, and that stupid bullshit ending screen. That is basically the equivalent to me of Tom and Jerry's bubonic plague. Because if it wasn't for this new movie, they basically, I would think that Tom and Jerry would basically be dead. Like, every single last person who was killed, like, every single European citizen, I sound Russian, damn it. Like, every single European citizen that was killed by the bubonic plague, by the Black Plague, basically that would be the equivalent of what happened whenever that movie was released to Tom and Jerry. And so, whenever 2021 came around, and this new Tom and Jerry movie basically was the equivalent of Moses freeing the Jews. How much of a relief that was. Like, all of the Jews that hadn't already been killed were being freed. As long as they followed the 10 rules, the 10 commandments. As Moses would probably, like, speak out, like, hey, you, all you guys, I'm a fellow Jews, I'm a fellow Hebrew mans and womans. And everybody else, all you guys, these are the 10 Commandments. Words from God. Big guy upstairs. He says these things. You do these things or do not do these things. Like, you know, what's basically on the tablets, or else the shit is going to get real. It's basically kind of the whole thing that happened with the 10 Commandments. And still, until like the Hebrew people, the Jewish people started committing like freaking false worship. I don't know, was it a cow or a goat or whatever? I think it was a cow that they were worshipping for whatever reason. Like, so false worship, because they weren't worshipping God, they were worshipping whatever kind of animal. And so, yeah, that basically, you wreck the 10 Commandments, the 10 Commandments wreck you. That means Moses wreck you. Hulk smash? No, Moses wreck. Wreck your entire shit. 10 Commandments style. Though, overall, I do think Prince of Egypt is the better movie out of the two. Anyways, I think this is probably where I should leave off before I get too many people pissed at me. One, for mentioning the bubonic plague, and two, for God, what else did I mention that probably pissed a lot of people off? I forgot what it was, but probably remember whenever I don't know what it was, but I mentioned beforehand that it was probably going to piss a lot of people off as soon as I mentioned. But whatever it was, doesn't matter now. Time has come to pass, and I shall only know the wrath of my comment section, all my subscribers, whenever this video is finally out to the public. I bid you all adieu, because I'm about